More Australians are reporting being the victims of cybercrime across the country, with the cost to small businesses rising in the last financial year. Australia's digital spy agency, ASD, is warning Australians to be vigilant as it points the finger of blame squarely at China as the main backer of state-sponsored cybercrime. Political reporter Matthew Doran joins us from Parliament House. Matthew, good morning. So what do we know?
Michael, this data is coming out of ASD's yearly cyber threat report, and it's showing that the number of cybercrime reports last financial year rose by 23% to 94,000 reports right across the country. But we do need to point out that reporting is not mandatory, so ASD believes this could well be the tip of the iceberg. The cost of cybercrime to businesses has also lifted over the last couple of years. If we use small businesses as an example, 2 years ago, the average cost of a cybercrime hit was around $30,000. That is now $46,000 in the last financial year. And we're seeing the bulk of the reports coming in from Queensland and Victoria. That's not to say that those two states are the prime targets for cybercrime. It's more so, according to ASD, that they're just more diligent in alerting authorities that they have been hit with cyber attacks. At the more serious end of the spectrum, those large hacks that we see so much discussion about every day, the number of serious incidents where ASD has had to step in to try to combat cyber attacks, to try to stem the damage once those hacks have occurred, has remained steady at around 1,100 events. But the most serious hacks, where there has been an extensive compromise of sensitive data, has risen from 2 incidents to 5 in the last financial year. A lot of the attention when it comes to those very serious cyber attacks is on whether they are backed by certain countries, and we know that ASD is pointing the finger at China this morning, saying that it remains the single largest backer of state-sponsored cybercrime. There is daylight before the other countries start going up the leaderboard, those being Russia and Iran. It does present an interesting situation, a conundrum for the government at a time when it's trying to mend its relationship with Beijing, while its intelligence agencies are calling out the actions of Chinese spies. That's a point not lost on the Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister, Richard Marles.
The relationship with China is complex. I mean, we've made that point from the very start. It's actually why we need to be making sure that our diplomacy is excellent with China and that we stabilise the relationship. But we've never pretended that this relationship is easy.
Now, Matthew, how much cooperation is there between the corporate sector and intelligence agencies when hacks are actually happening?
Well, ASD says it's a case-by-case basis. Some companies are very helpful in allowing ASD into their systems to try to stop these cyber attacks from happening, or to try to stem the damage once indeed they have begun. But it is concerned that some companies are effectively lawyering up before even approaching the agency. They're trying to withhold certain bits of information from ASD because they're concerned that information could be used further down the track in things like class actions in the courts or any regulatory action where they may be fined for allowing such data breaches to occur. ASD has asked the government, and the government is considering measures to effectively ring-fence some of that information, ensuring that when people go to ASD and say, lay everything on the table and say, this is what's happening, that information can't then be used for other purposes, in a bid to try to bolster that cooperation and that confidence in ASD's operations. Michael?
Matthew, thank you.